Ich habe mein Traumesszimmer mit wunderschönen Möbeln von Biliani eingerichtet. Jetzt zur Black Week bis zu 20% extra.
Test. Yeah, exactly. I'm on it as soon as I got my hand on the file. Is my audio working? Good. Anyone in chat? Yes, nice. Okay, great. If CIG hired me, I would have to do the Galaxy first, I believe. I didn't actually expect people to join instantly, and I never really streamed before, so this is a bit like super short notice. I just saw this thing is coming out and just wanted to try to rebuild it as soon as possible. So this is the official model, and I will put it in my in the expo hall that you've seen in some of the videos. If you've seen it, like in the Spirit and Galaxy video, I walked around the expo hall. I walk around that with this thing like in, I don't know, let's say half an hour. But first I have to set up some textures and make it look a little prettier, because this is the base thing, and there are no textures and no interior, obviously, too, in the HoloViewer model. So yeah, hi, first of all, and then second of all, I will have a very hard time looking at the chat and doing stuff at the same time, because I have very little experience with streaming, so don't expect anything amazing in the next hour. I'm just rebuilding this and then walking around it. You called that they roll to the bottom. Is that confirmed? Or do you still think that it looks like that? Because this thing looks really static. I don't think that this whole ring here could move around and slide down here. I'm not sure. There's really nothing I can tell you except what you see right now. I know that Ender... No, not Ender. Grim from Starjump sometimes he's doing these streams too with new models. And then he clicks objects and calls out what it is, but this is just the HoloViewer model. What he was looking at, like with the Polaris for something, was the ripped in-game model. And there you can like pick individual objects and get information like turret sizes, or you could even like sometimes make out what a door is, but this is just one mesh, one model. And the only information you can get is the length and yeah, what you see basically. Underneath, let's have a look underneath if you want to see that. Actually, let me remove that grid for you. wish I could like click at these things and see what it is, but I can't. I'm pretty sure this is the door, and it's only, no, it's on both sides. I can switch real fast. I have the these images right here. Oh, that's interesting. The image only shows one entrance, and I guess that's this here. But there is one on the other side too. Could also be that the HoloViewer model is symmetrical and the final thing won't be. But usually they are very accurate. It would be the first time that it is mirrored, even though the ship is a bit asymmetrical. Yeah, I mean, it really looks like this thing can slide, and if you show, if you say it is shown in the images, then it probably is doing that. But I'm just imagining how. I mean, you can see that this part here is either in the way of the gun itself, or it has to move with the gun, and then there's so much stuff in its way right now. We can't see your mouse. Oh. Can you see my mouse here in this view? Yeah, then let's put some texture on this thing first of all. Even with the textures you can't get any information. Usually the models that we get from the files sometimes are basically the full in-game models with all texture coordinates, and this is not made to hold any textures. So all information that was on there, they purged it, so we can't read too much out of this. There we go. Blender tutorials from me. I'm not sure if I'm the perfect person for that. I only learned Blender for this whole Star Citizen thing myself. I had some 3D experience before. Well, not some, more like 5 years university and then 5 more years doing it as a hobby. But I always used other software and just started using Blender like 2 years ago. So I don't usually like to teach stuff that I'm not really proficient at. And that includes all the Star Citizen things. But well, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no interior yet. The hollow viewer models always are just the external files. Sometimes they leave stuff in there by accident mostly. For example, like in the Galaxy, part of the doors still remained inside, and for the Polaris it was the torpedoes. But on this I haven't seen anything really that you can make out as, I don't know. I mean, maybe these... Oh, actually these could be the floors? Not sure. Because this whole thing here has no use on the exterior, so maybe this is the base floor and this is the top floor? Not sure. It would align with the door at least. And even the cockpit, if I got it wrong, there's basically two. Like there's an upper cockpit for the pilot, and then you have to walk all the way back and down to the turret gunner, and they have their own little windows here. That's what it looked like on this here. I hope there's a ladder in between these two. Okay. Am I doing the base paint or the... what is it called? Blackout? That looks cool, but actually the base paint is a lot more... let's say readable, not readable, more iconic. How close does it follow the Valkyrie? Oh, that's actually interesting, but I don't have the Valkyrie here. I don't want to guess, I want the right color. It's important. Doesn't get any more correct than that. This is a disappointment. That's not me. That someone's saying that. Why is it disappointing? I really don't know what people want from a gunship right now. I don't think there's any real gameplay use for it. What did you expect from it? Bigger. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, okay. I expected it to be like... I mean, yeah, I heard the Carrack sized... well, not leaked information apparently, but like rumors. I heard the rumors about it being Carrack sized, and I was hoping the same. Especially because I was looking forward to build the interior, and this is like... I don't want to say easy or fast. That is definitely not the case, but it's only 2 floors, so it won't take forever. I'm not even sure if I'm going to build the interior for this, just because, I mean, it's not as exciting as like a Galaxy or something, well, similar to a Galaxy. So yeah, I was hoping for something bigger too, but I mean, it looks cool. I like the interior. It looks... I mean, there's not really much you can see from the image, but it looks cool. Right. Being smaller means that it could get released far. Does the... I didn't even check. Is it flight ready or is it in concept? I mean, would it compete with the Perseus? In a way, but being a gunship, I don't know what's the definition of a gunship. I would say that it's more tailored towards ground assault than space combat. I think the Perseus primarily like designed for space ship-to-ship combat. So there would be a differentiation, but also, I mean, it would be the first Anvil military ship of that size. Is that true? Yeah, I think it's true. It would be I mean, it could of course be a competitor. Like, RSI ships need competitors when it comes to the big ships right now. You can already see that I can't do the two things at the same time. I can either look at the chat or like just turn it and look at it, but I can't really rebuild it at the same time. Maybe this was a stupid idea. Okay, let's try to get some things done. So the black is too dark. We got the olive, but there is more olive. This is olive too. Oh yeah, I was wondering about the unlabeled room opposing the crew quarters too. I actually thought that it might be crew quarters as well because... okay, let's keep me from building again. If we look at that picture... the crew quarters only have, like the crew quarters shown with the number 5 on it, only have 2 beds. And I believe it's for 4 people, right? It's 2 in the flight seats and then 2 at least on the turrets downstairs. There's another 2 seats. So I would assume 2 beds on the one side and then another 2 on the other side. I mean, this could be... you don't see my pointer right now because I have it open in another window, but yeah, could be mirrored crew quarters. That's what I assume without looking at too long. Does the thruster under the forward armor go into VTOL mode? This one? I don't think so. It has a dedicated downward facing VTOL thruster. There's 2. Let's go back. This is olive. This is olive. And this is olive. No. Oh no. Yeah, this is where it starts to get tricky. Because this whole thing is one object and I have to... Sometimes they leave the... sometimes they really separate the how do I say that? Sometimes they paint the decals on it, like the stripes on the back, into the geometry, so I can just select them. But not on this one. I have to basically cut everything myself. Except this could just work as the top olive green part. I thought the first image looked like the Vanguard too, like the one that the distorted image. I felt that had a lot of Vanguard feel to it, except that it already looked bigger, but there definitely is a similarity. again, sorry for not talking too much. I try to get this colored as fast as possible, so we can walk around it a bit to see it better and get a better feel for the scale. That's good. There's something missing here. No, it's not missing, it's just super low quality. I'm not using a 3D mouse. I had one once, but I feel like it's very useless. And also, for some reason, I always hate to rely on hardware that I don't have everywhere. So I try not to get too attached to something that I can't have. I mean, at work I can have whatever I want, but like even if I go to someone else's computer, I want to have the same possibilities. So I always try to avoid using external hardware for building something. I'm not even using a graphic tablet, which most graphics people are using. So I'm looking at this all the time. And I know that you can't see my mouse pointer in this viewport, but I'm looking at this small triangle or four-sided thing under the gray and the olive part right now. On the image it looks really detailed, but I think it's just this, and I don't know what it is. So I just make it gray for now. Oh, and then there's some olive here. Okay, that's all the base colors. Then we need some details, like this is chrome. And then we need some glass. I swear that's the top one comment in all my videos, that I have to be hired by CIG, but I have a job, people. I have a job, and it's pretty cool too. I thought about applying at CIG like a few times, but I never really thought about it, because this is not really what I'm most proficient in. This is a hobby, not more than that. And I'm afraid that if I ever consider working for CIG, that it would destroy my only hobby. Not my only hobby, but like it would take the fun out of all these spaceships if it like becomes work. That's not completely true. I heard that even, I mean, I don't know about the gaming industry in particular, but I know that within that industry, CIG is considered paying pretty decently. And I know more about the film industry than the gaming industry. They are very similar, obviously, and sometimes even work together, and they work with similar software and stuff. And everyone is saying that the film industry is completely underpaid and what did you say? Don't pay well in general. People say that the film industry pays bad in general, and that is not true either. There's a lot of people not being paid well, but if you know how to play your cards, you can decently live from doing that. But it sure is very competitive. Having a hobby with 3D modeling does not make you feel like you're good at it for work either, right? You're saying that just because it's a hobby, I'm not ready to do it professionally. I generally completely agree with that. I sure don't have the skill set to do video games just because I can do just because I can do some Blender work and throw some color at these models. But I obviously have a professional background in something not too far from this. So even though I don't know, like I'm not in game development, I at least know what I'm doing here, and I know how to look at their game models, and like I understand the base process pretty well. And I also understand, like, not perfect. I haven't worked in games, but again, I have worked in film, and the whole like production, scheduling and planning, and especially the team structure it's definitely not the same, but it's comparable. That's some nice windows. Oh, okay, and the bottom has windows too. What are you saying? What I do as good enough in private editing doesn't feel good enough for TV. That sure is the case, and that obviously is a problem getting into the industry. I mean, it's the same with games and movies, I believe, and editing. You can't really learn that stuff from home, but you have to get the experience somewhere, so that's always an issue. So I guess, I mean, technically, I guess I'm good enough in 3D that I could technically apply for a junior position at CIG. But I don't really want to start in a junior position, because I've done that like many years ago in a different field, and I don't want to go back to that, so. What are you doing with editing? Oh, and what are you editing in, most importantly? Are you going to lower the alpha? No, I mean, you're talking about the windows, right? I could, but then you would see that there's nothing inside. You see all these flaky, weird, floating bits, so I'll keep that opaque for now. Is the windows? Oh yeah, the windows are black, so I'll just keep them that way. And then I need some details, and then we can have a look no, not inside, like then we can put it in the beauty scene. What I want to do is add the stripes first. Volume is too low. Volume of my voice or volume of my music? I can see the volume meter thing is at the top of the green limiter, so I don't think I should go higher. You added in Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro because company standard. Well, company standard is a bit of a loose term. It's not industry standard in... Oh, you said company standard. Okay, it's company standard, right. Company standard, but not industry standard. I used Premiere too, obviously, in the past. Every student uses Premiere because it's free, but I have to use Resolve now for my videos. I mean, I don't have to. I want to. I don't think I can put the microphone louder. Is that a problem for everyone, or is it just one person? In the meantime, I'm going to add the... Let's start with the important stripes. That's the white ones. And they start around... Okay, thank you. Great. They start about... Oh, actually, okay. They're... okay. They are going... No! That's not pretty. This is very imprecise what I'm doing here. I'm just... Unfortunately, I don't think there's an image with a nice top view, so I just have to take some guesses right now. It's something like this. Yeah, I can mirror this. I will. But I won't. I'll do it when I'm finished with the half here. So this is it white or is it cream colored? Let's go with white. No, actually, in this view, it looks more cream. It's not a super bright white. Okay. It's not completely accurate, but it's good yeah, it's good enough for me. You are cream colored too. And then we have two more stripes going here. Did they tease the in the sitcom? I saw someone writing on Reddit that this is the ship from the silhouette view, the flat one, some called the Intrepid. But I'm pretty sure this was not in the silhouette view at all. And I also didn't see it teased anywhere else. In fact, this is the first time since, I don't know, quite a while that they managed to not get any leaked images out, right? Mesh. Bisect. Yeah, right. The name was leaked and the I don't know, there was this I think it was the text from the IAE hall. But image-wise, I mean, image-wise they managed to keep it locked this time. Is it the same length as the Redeemer? I felt it was bigger. The Redeemer is 51 meters. Oh, that is very close. The Redeemer is 51 and I checked this one earlier. I can check again in a few seconds. Oh, I can check now. This is 53. And even though it's a bit wider than the Redeemer, there's a lot of space, like basically everything in the back here that is... I don't think you can have an interior in these things. I mean, it's still 5 meters high here, but still. The angles of my paint are not really good. But it's okay for now. I'll just leave it like that and try to get it finished, and then I can make it cleaner later. Mesh. technical Paladin data on pipeline. Oha, let me have a look. No, I can't find it. I am not on the pipeline Discord. I had an... Actually, I couldn't get the verification bot to work for some reason. So I am only watching the pipeline channel on the content creator Discord, which usually has the same stuff like a few minutes later. If you can link it somewhere, that would be nice. Does it show anything other than the... I mean, there's also a top view in the brochure, in the PDF, but this, it's completely gray, so with no textures on it. I mean, I think it's accurate enough like this. You sent it to me on Discord, that's amazing. Oh yes, thanks a lot. Oh yeah, I have that. That's the you said that's on the pipeline Discord. That was also, it's on the website if you look for it somewhere. But that doesn't help me with aligning the textures. I'm looking on it. I'm looking for a top view of these stripes to get the angle like 100% perfect. But I mean, it's good enough. Thank you very much, though. There's not really more detail that I have to change on this one, so I can mirror that now. No, actually I'll do this too, then I can mirror both. Because this needs a second area too. Looks like it goes something like this. Again, good enough. And then we can detach this too. And delete this. And then join these and then mirror that. There we go. Is there more detail that I have to get in there before we watch it? Oh yeah, there's stripes on the back here that I want those too. Those are important, to me at least. Oh no, that's inaccurate. I hate that. I hate that so much, but it's okay. This is why all these videos I do take so long, because I have to make sure that every single line is completely parallel and... Jesus Christ, it's this obsession with having everything 100% perfect. That's cool. And then there is... Where's the Anvil logo? I thought there was like a big anvil somewhere. It's not just this, is it? If anyone can find a bigger Anvil logo on some of the other pictures, please let me know. Yeah, the ship is kind of the logo, but that is true. But unfortunately, these little logos, they do instantly help to make these HoloViewer models look more real, and they help with the scale too. So anything that I can put in here, any detail that I can slap on this is helpful. So I would have liked some more Anvil logos on here. On the nose. That's the one that I'm building right here, right now. This, right? Is there any other logo than here? Oh, thank you. There is one on the wing, but only on the left one. That's weird. Why is it only on that left one? Okay, yeah, I'll put one there too in a second. Yeah, thank you very much for sending that over. There's another one. Yeah. Did I say left one? Left, like, left in the image. It's the right wing of the ship. There's one inside, but yet you aren't into the ship. No. Not today, probably. Okay, there is an Anvil logo on here. You can't see it right now, but there definitely is one. I promise. There we go. Anvil Aerospace. How big is it? It's pretty small. The 1451. I'm not starting adding the text right now. I mean, maybe I'll do that later, but right now I'm only adding the logos, and then we can put that into the expo hall and have a walk around it. I just want to have the official branding on there for now. Fun fact, the one on the nose is placed in the way to be seen by the enemy. If the enemy is on top. Is that the right size? No, it's even smaller than this. Like this, maybe? Oh, and it's stretched too. It should be more like this. It's not a perfect circle. No, it's too small. Something like this. Oops. Thank you. The galaxy recreation certainly took me a while. But I have been getting faster since I started that. Okay. There's one anvil. Oh, it's too small now. Damn it. Okay, we fake that. Good enough. But this is not, this is olive. I want it to be the same color as the other ones. How did you get this 3D model so fast? Yeah, it's, no, it's, I'm not sure if it's in the game files. I took the Holloway model. I don't think the game files have an update, which is a bit weird. I would have expected them to have this in the expo hall by now. Has anyone checked the expo hall? Is that updated to showing Anvil stuff, or is it still Origin? Yeah, I saw the 890 jump skins too. And they are pretty cool too. Okay, second logo is on... Second logo is here. Oh, that logo is without the font actually. That's just the arrow. I don't have that. That's not in the toolkit. I'll put the same logo for now. There's the logo, but it's the wrong color. Cool. Or at least cool enough. Okay, let's hit the expo hall then. Oh no. There's one important part missing, and that is the stripes in the front here. Sorry, I want my details in there. That really helps with the overall look. There's another Anvil logo on the front right, below the pilot glass. You're saying right from the ship's perspective? Oh, and there's another one right in front, like here. That's not the one you're talking about, right? But there's one there. Oh, right below. Okay, not on the right side. Right below the... Okay, I see it. Yeah. Let's put that there too. That's also very important. No, what is actually important is that this is olive and not black. Or at least it looks olive on this image. I swear we go to the expo hall in a few minutes. So I think this is green, and then we need another one on here. I have to say, yeah, it is basically a Valkyrie. It feels like a Valkyrie. I was really hoping for something a lot bigger. Now that I'm almost finishing with the colors, I expected something like a massive gunship. Also because this does not really do anything new to the Anvil, well, design language, let's call it that. It's basically the same that we've seen before. I was hoping for some new archetype for Anvil capital ships, because the Carrack obviously is very, not very, but it's kind of civilian. And I would have loved to see something, yeah, military, like the, I don't know, the Javelin or something, but from Anvil. I also expected something bigger, especially because it's just a concept sale. Because they didn't sell a big ship this time, right? They usually have one big ship for IAE. And if this is the only one... Okay, they have the Polaris, obviously. But they usually have one big concept ship. Almost done. Almost done here. Oh, that's also inaccurate. But it's also good enough. actually this goes to here. Those are way too small. They should be twice as big. I leave it like that for now. I want to see it myself now in the hall. No word on that funky Drake silhouette. I didn't expect it really. But the Drake silhouette is by far the most interesting shape they have shown in a long time. And it's also the one in the silhouette video that I did, that's obviously the one with the most comments and the most requested, that just is something so different than all the other ones we've seen in the last years. And that's also the one I'm looking forward most. I already started kind of aligning that for the second part and building like a base shape and starting to paint that. Yeah, but for that Drake ship I'm going to have a lot of fun making stuff up. Since we're talking about that, what do all of you think that weird looking Drake silhouette ship is going to be, like role-wise? Dev said that it's not a Drake. Oh no. Oh no, I completely rely on it being Drake for my drawings. Also, what other manufacturer could it be, if not Drake? Okay, I'm putting all of you on the hold screen for just a second while I load up the IAE hall scene. Shouldn't take long. A vein miner. Yeah, I read that too. That would certainly be interesting. But what would that... I mean, that wing would make more sense in atmosphere than outside. A fat cutter. Interdictor. Interdictor is something I read before and I thought for a second, but I think this can't be any military role at all, because with that giant wing, it would just be like the best target possible. I think the only explanation that makes sense for that giant wing is either something atmospheric flight wise, so I don't know, passenger transport, anything that needs to be like stable in atmosphere, or exploration, because the Corsair has the big wings with the antennas on it to like spread out the reach of their antennas and stuff. So I don't think it can be anything that is focused on combat, at least. almost done here. Anvil Paladin, object, link. There we go. Still almost done. Paladin. It would be really funny if it was just a cutter with their wings. Scanner, exploration. Yeah. Exploration is what I think is, like, for the silhouette, the thing that makes most sense. Still almost done. Okay, there we go. 3, 2, 1. That didn't work. There we go. Okay, there is our Paladin. Yep, this still says Galaxy, but that's not the Paladin. No news about the flat ship, but I'm pretty certain I know what it is. Do I want to spoil that now? Yeah, we only have like 30 people. I believe that the flat thing is a consolidated Outland base building ship, like a small medium base building ship. It looks very similar to it. If you look at the stairs on the back of the silhouette, there's this triangular shape that the Pioneer also has. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. But yeah, okay. It already looks so much bigger than what I expected it to be. It's always the same from a first-person view. It's definitely not massive, but bigger than I expected the last hour working on it. No, the flagship at the very end is the Pioneer. We're talking about the one about 5 or 6 ships earlier. Small to me. I would even call it more small than medium. I have more ideas about that, but I want to save that for my video, just so I can have a little more images and things to explain that. But no, I'm going to spoil it now. The Crucible, definitely not. The Crucible is much bigger. You can see that it is pretty much flat on the ground in the back, so I think it can deploy cargo in a similar way to the base building. In the base building video, they had the boxes lying around everywhere, so I think this ship can basically drop to the floor and then drop the resources for base building without you needing to actually take it out manually. That's one idea. The thrusters are tiny. Like really tiny. Are these the only ones? Can I check if the Terrapin fits the galaxy? I can do that. I don't think I have the Terrapin model here right now, but I can definitely check it out later. Maybe later in the stream too. I honestly don't think so. Oh yeah, I forgot that the VTOLs, right. But you're calling it massive? I don't think they are massive. They are still pretty small compared to other ships' thrusters. I mean, the block is big, but it's not massive. Okay, I want to see the top now. They are not bigger than a human. The thrusters? No. I can't measure it right now, but I would say one of these thrusters has a diameter of, well, less than a meter. I can check it later, but these individual things are pretty small compared to... What did I have open recently? I forgot. It is, yeah, it is much bigger than I expected it to be from the images, but obviously still a lot smaller than I wanted it to be. Except for these guns. These size 5 guns are pretty big. But again, they felt even bigger in that leaked distorted image. Yeah, sure, okay, yeah, the VTOL is bigger than a person. But I'm just talking about the individual thrusters. And okay, if this thing is moving, how is that happening? Is this ring moving with it? Probably not. Maybe this ring like splits open? Yeah, I guess that's what's happening. There's a nice animation where this ring like splits open and then just the centerpiece slides down here. And what are you? Is this just decoration or is it something? I don't know. Is there another turret collar on the retracted position on the bottom? I'll have a look in a second. The window is a lot smaller than I expected. But yeah, I expected to slide from this turntable to this one here. Oh, that's dark. Pretty cool. Let's have a look inside, even though it looks terrible. But like, we can get a feel for the windows. It's not a big cockpit. It's really tiny. For 2 persons. And if it's 2 floors, I mean, you can't fit 2 floors in here, of course, but it's really not as roomy as it looked like on the image I looked at. And again, unfortunately there's nothing in here that gives us any nice information. The oval piece could be a shield emitter, yeah, for sure. Sure. The white box technical data sheet, the ring isn't full circle on the top. Let me have a look at that real quick. Oh no! Okay, now we're in full Star Citizen mode. Clipped through the bottom, that's what it's supposed to look like. Oh yeah, right, okay. That ring is actually just there for the HoloViewer model. Interesting. Good spot, thank you very much. I'll take that out as soon as I can. Oh yes, I didn't mention it. We talked about that earlier. I think there's 2 decks here for sure. So there's a pilot deck here and then a gunner deck on the bottom, both for 2 people. So it's 4 in total. I'm convinced. No, I don't work for CIG. If I worked for CIG, I couldn't show all this stuff all the time. They showed the 2 crew looking through a glass floor to 2 other crew below. Oh, I downloaded those pictures and I didn't even look at them properly right now because I downloaded all the stuff, the model, the images, and then immediately jumped into Blender to model that as soon as possible. I didn't even... Oh, interesting. There's a glass floor between those 2. That's or is there a floor at all? I mean, you can't really see any reflection. Maybe that is completely open space and they hang, like they hang in space with their seats. Either way, it's pretty cool that you can see the other people down there. Interesting. Yeah, sorry, I didn't set this up so you can see the images at the same time, so I keep walking and talking. But if you don't know what I was talking about or the person before me, there's one concept image where you can see the 2 floors from the top and there's apparently glass in between these 2 floors, so you can, like the pilot here can directly look down to the gunners. That's pretty cool. That's really cool actually. I would prefer if there is like no glass but an open space so they can like shout at each other. And now I do want to model the interior. I said to myself that I'm only going to build the interior if it's a big interesting ship and not like a, well, what is this, medium-sized? But I think it's cool. I think I'm going to make a quick interior this week and then move on to something bigger and cooler. Yeah, I'll do a quick mock-up of the interior. But not today. That will take at least a few days. There's one picture of the interior, maybe more, but there's one inside the cockpit. Out of the Galaxy and the Spirit, which of your videos got more community love? Are you only talking about the latest one from this week? Then for sure the Galaxy, even though the difference was a lot smaller than I expected. Like from the stuff that I published before, I expected the Galaxy video to completely explode and the Spirit one to be decent, but they are pretty close. The chairs slide forward on beams into open space. Yeah, that's what I hope and expected. That's really cool. Also a bit scary, but really cool and also really unique. Where did you get that info from? Is that written somewhere, or did you just is that your interpretation of the picture? Generally, I mean, the two... there was a lot more talk about the Galaxy because it leaves more room for interpretation, especially with the modules and with the drama recently. For the Spirit, I mean, I didn't show much that wasn't already known or shown before. And then the interior, obviously, I messed that up a bit. And I think before I do another interior, I might fix the interior of the Spirit. Yeah, because I didn't put the restrooms and the lockers in the right spot. But yeah, generally speaking, there's a lot more buzz around the Galaxy. And the Galaxy videos too. Seems like the Galaxy has a lot of hype because of the Perseus being ahead of it. Why does that increase the hype for the Galaxy? Shouldn't that reduce it? Because, I mean, before we knew that, everyone was expecting the Galaxy to be, yeah, in production right now. I was more excited for the Galaxy myself compared to the E1. I don't really like the E1. I did all that video about it, but I don't like the top floor at all. I said it in the video. I feel these pods are so closed, so encapsulated, and then on the top they are open. So if you have like private conversations in there that other people can still hear you, I don't really like the top floor design of the E1 yet. I mean, it's obviously it's not going to stay as blocky as it is right now. That's just like the basic HoloView model. But even in the images they are shown, there's one concept image of people celebrating on the top floor inside, and I don't like the E1. I mean, I love the E1. I love that it has the big glass on the top. I love the shape of the ship, obviously, but the interior is pretty... There's room to make it prettier. I mean, maybe I'm going to... Maybe I'm going to design my own interior for the E1 top floor. I actually talked to Morphologist about that. I wanted him to design the interior so I can model it, but he apparently is busy. Less hyped about the delay. Yeah, I get that. Again, I was hoping that it is out next year, but I mean, it's good because now I'm still missing 2 videos of the Galaxy. Or maybe I'll do the which ones are it? There's the base building module and the... What did they call it? They didn't call it the crafting module. But it's basically that, the crafting module. So these 2, I probably have to do videos for those 2, but That will take me another year if I keep the same pace. A team up video between you two would be cool. Oh yeah, that would be cool, I know. But again, he's too busy for that, I believe. I talked to him twice at the last CitizenCons. But yeah, he's a busy man. Also, I'm not famous enough. If you make my channel more famous, then maybe he will consider it someday, but right now I'm just a small fish for him. And that's okay, that's true. Also, I'm saying that the Galaxy video got a bit more love. It's funny because the Galaxy video is only like a few minutes longer than the E1 one, the E1 one. And I was working on that Galaxy video for more than a year now. Not like I'm not fully working on it for the full year straight, but I started working on this cargo module a year ago, and then just finished it like literally last week, because I had the whole I had basically the whole video done except for the first 5 minutes walking around the exterior, because I knew that I had to do some new intro because of all the controversy and all the updates regarding the base building module. But so that I did that a week before IE, and the rest earlier. What I try to say is I worked on that for over a year. And the E1, I started doing that a week earlier. So I basically worked 1.5 weeks on the E1 and over a year on the Spirit one. Just because all of this setting up the hall and stuff, there was a lot of work I did on the Spirit on the Galaxy video that I could reuse in the Spirit one. Can I ask for above ship camera view? Well, that's a bit immersion breaking. I wanted to only show this from foot, but you know what? For you, I'm going to. What do you want to see? Like a full top view or like a something as in the concept image? Actually has quite a fat nose from this angle. Like it looks a lot more sleek in the concept art. It has a very fat nose. Yeah, I do really like it, but I almost feel like I've been seeing this for a few years now. It doesn't look as new as other concept chip we've seen recently, or like the last years. I was expecting something like the Galaxy 2 years ago, or the Ironclad last year, like something that size and something that new design language wise. Oops. A sea mantis that put on weight. That's a good description. I like these big visual armor plates that Anvil has. It always looks really well protected. Chunkier Valkyrie. Okay, that's cool. Anything else you want to see, like on this ship in this view, or should we go back to the editor and just look how it compares to the Valkyrie? Maybe I can try to load the Valkyrie in. Blender. Yes, that is Blender. Do I have the Valkyrie? No, I don't. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I try to get the Valkyrie in. The pipeline guys are impressed with this video. The pipeline guys? The the leaker pipelines or the CIG pipeline? More tools. The leakers. Oh, cool. Hi Pipeline, I look at your stuff all the time to prepare these. But this is only the HoloViewer model, and some basic textures on it. Nothing super exciting. Oh boy, the Valkyrie looks so similar now that I have it open. They are good people. Are they though? I'm sure CIG has a different opinion, at least sometimes. Actually, if pipeline people are here right now, please feel free to get in touch on Discord. I guess it could benefit us if we are connected in the future, maybe. For example, the image I did undistorted yesterday, I thought this, if I did that earlier last week, that could have been interesting for you too, but I thought it was too late. Otherwise I would have sent it over already. Okay, I have the Valkyrie. Will be open in another 2 minutes. Promise. I don't know if anyone saw the images I posted on YouTube and Twitter and Reddit yesterday of the undistorted teaser images from the IAE show. I did that yesterday. I was on, not on vacation, but I wasn't home and I had no real computer and I had to use a super tiny netbook laptop thingy to undistort, like calculate out the distortion from that image. That was such a weird and technical process. I didn't even know it was possible before I tried that. I'm definitely going to make a video about that, but it's going to be the most boring video I've ever done with the worst retention rate, because it was just, it's very technical. I really didn't just, it's not a predefined filter. I really like, I took the distortion from the other images in that teaser and then inverted the distortion that they put on. That is really not a process that is straightforward. But it was fun. It was like a puzzle to me. I wanted to find any information in there that you couldn't see before. I'm sorry, the conversion takes extremely long. Yes, I restored the images. I mean, other people did it too, for sure. But I think they only took down these scan lines. And I think I was the only one actually, yeah, undistorting the horizontal distortion on there. Okay, now I have the Valkyrie. It will be in 20 seconds, I promise. Okay, file, import, obj. Valkyrie. There we go. And that is the Valkyrie. That is also the Holoview model. But usually the Holoview models of the finished ones are a lot more detailed. I think they update them once they have the final model. Let me put the dark gray on that. Oh, that doesn't work. Black also doesn't work. Oh no. What's your problem? Do you have... Oh no, all the normals are wrong. Oh, all of them are wrong. Okay, if all of them are wrong, that's easy. Mesh, normals, flip. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now make it dark gray. Yeah. Actually, it's not even much beefier than a... I thought it was a lot beefier than a Valkyrie, but it's pretty much the same width. It has... That's what I said. It has a fatter nose than the Valkyrie. And it obviously is separated in the back. That looks cool. The VTOLs are smaller, even smaller. And then the wings are... Well, they are not even thicker, they are just... There are 2 layers instead of 1. Interesting. You could take a simplified vertex model of one and map it to the other. This is why I I didn't feel as excited as I hoped, because like most of the shapes, the plates, this year we've seen it all before. I just didn't look at the Valkyrie for a while, so I forgot that it looks so similar. But yeah, very similar. I'm still going to build a quick mock-up of the interior at least. It looks like the separation in the back is because it's a garage module. Well, a garage module would block the gun here. So that's not going to happen probably. Honestly, now seeing these two, actually I preferred if they just like put some guns on the Valkyrie, called it a dropship, make a variant, and then focus on other ships that are less similar. I appreciate it, but it's not close enough to reuse anything. So it's a ton of work for something very similar, probably. Shame. Maybe I can steal some details from the Valkyrie. Like these wings are basically just flipped. The engines look the same, not completely the same, but very similar. So, are we excited about this or not? I was very excited when I downloaded the stuff and started building it. And right now I feel a little bit... not disappointed, that's not the right word. Yeah, it is cool to get a gun heavy ship of that size, but I wanted that heavy dropship. You're going to put your salvage couch in there. Actually, you will have to face the same problem you have with every move. You have to fit the couch through this door somehow. That is there's no cargo door. That's going to be tricky. And then up the stairs too. Okay, I'm going to shut up for a few minutes and try to add the exterior text detail. And then maybe we can return to the IE hall at some point when I have more detail in here. sorry you can't see it, but I'm looking for fonts right now. I think I have a 90% fitting font for the decals. Just give me one more minute and then I have it in there. Fonts go here. And how far? Further, like this. That feels about right. Still a touch too big. That. That's good. See, that already helps. Maybe it's too shiny. Cool, that helps. Now it's probably wrong on the other side. How's the other side looking? Is it the same text? Oh no, it's not mirrored at all. Cool, okay. No mirrored it is. Okay, I'm going to add one more piece of text on the top, and then I'm going back to the IAE hall for another look on the whole thing in some pretty light, and then I'm going to close the stream. And maybe come back in a few hours or tomorrow when I have more details. But it's a very interesting first look, and I already appreciate that so many people showed up. I expected one or two maybe. So thank you all for having a look at the probably earliest look at the Paladin. It's smallish. Well, it's 53 meters, so depends what you consider small, but it's the size of a Valkyrie. It's not the Carrack-sized gunship that some of us expected, but it's certainly not tiny. Cap-size cap-ship gun-based alternative to the Polaris. Yeah, I mean, that's what I expected, honestly. But then again, I don't think there will ever be a real need in-game for a gunship that big if we consider gunships are for ground assault. I don't see bunkers with like hundreds of NPC foot soldiers outside happening in this game. I mean, well, Theaters of War apparently had large-scale ground combat, but I don't know. I don't really see it right now. Escort roles, but yeah, can you see escort roles for a ship like Carrack-sized? A Carrack-sized gunship for personal escort? I feel that's a bit... I mean, ships of that size usually can escort themselves. If that makes sense. No. Yeah, no, it was. What I said and meant, and what we talked about earlier, is that this was rumored to be Carrack-sized gunship. Rumored, and what some people wanted, including me. Even though it doesn't really, make sense, as we just said. But I don't know where that information came from, but someone somewhere said Carrack-sized gunship, and a lot of people took that for fact. No, not for facts, but I thought it was kind of legit. Yeah, true, kinda. That yellow is really well readable on that green. Also, I feel like my green is too light. And also way too shiny. Better, and it's also too, it lacks a bit of red and a bit of saturation. That's more like the concept image. There was an unknown ship in the Squadron 42 campaign with a ship named the what? The Borkest? Borkest? Looked like a Bengal, but Idris-sized with 3 triple cannon turrets across the top. Sadly, it was blasted by the kingship. I must have seen it then, but I didn't pay attention. There were so many different variations in there. Do you by any chance have the timecode of that thing in the trailer? Nice. Is that a cockpit on bottom front? Yes. That is the gunner seats. The gunners sit down here and the pilot and co-pilot sit up here. And it actually is one big room, so there's no floor in between. So if you look at the concept images on the sides, there is this is one giant room, 2 people up here in the air basically, and then 2 down here, and they can shout at each other. That's pretty cool. There's a concept image showing that from the top perspective. Okay, I'm going to pause this stream for just 1 minute and load the galaxy scene back in. Not the galaxy scene, the hall scene, so we can have a prettier look at it. Are you... No, I'm not rebuilding this. This is the HoloView model. Without any... It has no textures, no nothing, so I'm just dressing it up to look like the concept images. I'll have a look at the stream at the Squadron 42 barcast in just a second, or like maybe after this one. I'm going to show this first. But thank you for finding it. Okay. Hall view coming up in seconds, promise. And there we go. What are your thoughts on the new Idris and Javelin model that we saw in the trailer? It's so incredibly detailed. The Javelin especially, I looked at Grim from Star Jump, like looking at every detail on that for like an hour. It's incredibly detailed, and it has to be. I felt like the old Javelin model, while pretty, was not detailed enough for the scale it had. And the Idris, I actually didn't pay attention to the Idris in the trailer, but I'm happy that it got an update because that also looks very outdated detail-wise. I think the Idris in game, as it is right now, feels half the size it's supposed to be just because it lacks so much structural detail. Yeah, I know it's an old model, but still, it we are talking about the Squadron 42 gameplay demo. Is the Idris as unfinished as some say? I mean, the exterior looks amazing of the Idris, and I bet the interior too, but as far as I know, it won't release completely before Squadron 42. Just for I mean, I know they used parts of the interior now for the campaign, but I heard that they won't release the full thing for spoiler reasons, because that ship is your home in the game, and I honestly don't really want to see the interior before Squadron 42. I want my home ship to feel new, so even if they put the Idris in right now, I wouldn't look at it before Squadron 42 comes out. How do you already have this model? It's the HoloView model. It's on the website, and there's ways to get them, but all the detail, texture-wise and detail-wise, I have to add because it's just the HoloView model. No materials, no textures, no colors. No, I didn't build it. No, I did not build this. It's the official HoloView model, and that's why all the scale related things we look at right now, that's all accurate. That's all the official model. We are saying that the Idris exterior is unfinished. Well, maybe not unfinished, but I don't think what we have in game right now is the final exterior. Or is it? Did they update that with the... okay, to be fair, I haven't seen an Idris in game for more than half a year, maybe a year. So I'm still talking about the legacy Idris model that we had for like years. Maybe with the updated interior now, maybe they already updated it to the Squadron 42 exterior. I don't know. I'm talking about the Idris exterior we had for so long. Is there only one entrance to the Paladin? Actually, I talked about that earlier. In the concept images, there's only one entrance shown, but the model has two. So this here, this hexagonal shape is the door on the other side, but as you can see, it's on this one too. So I'm not sure if they just mirrored this model because they thought no one would care at the HoloView model, but yeah. Right now it's symmetrical, even though the interior image, this one, where is it? This one only shows one entrance door. Better hits are been finished, locked in a similar way the Starfire has for years. They use the most important. Yeah. Do you scale up the model using standard details? Do you scale up the model using standard details, guns, doors, cockpit sizes, or does your hologrid export load? The HoloViewer models always have the right scale times 100, and that times 100 is just usually because of different units, but it has always been the right scale. There was only one single ship that had the wrong scale in the HoloViewer models, and that was the Spirit. Or the other one. No, actually, it was no. Even the Spirit had the right scale in the HoloViewer model, but they put the wrong scale on the website when it released. And we looked at the HoloViewer model and said this has to be the right scale, and it turned out to be. So I heard that some people had problems with HoloViewer scales, but I think they are referring to the HoloViewer models that are in the game. And I'm talking about the ones from the website. I know it's the same mesh and the same model, but the models on the website, if you export them, they have the right scale times 100. Always, so far. All the ones I've looked at. I was also wondering if there maybe is a third entrance somewhere, because, or a second, but you know, another entrance, because this feels kinda dangerous, like fire safety wise. I mean, we know that fire is going to be a thing soon, so I can't expect ships to have one entrance only. Kinda sucks that since Squadron 42 is delayed 2 years. Yeah, I know. I expected it to be released maybe next spring or something. Or summer, to be realistic, but 2 years is a long time. Who paid... What is that part about a guy who paid 1,500? What is that about? Did someone bet on Squadron 42 being released or something? I have to think about fire code, I'm sorry. I'm German, so we don't joke about these things. Ah, okay. Right. I thought it was still... I thought you were talking about the release itself. But, I mean... At this point, I'm thinking maybe they put out the Idris sooner. Because, I mean, they put out parts of the interior, and back in the days, I think they sometimes said we won't put out anything of the interior because it's a potential spoiler for squadrons, and I feel that I don't want to see the interior just now. Yeah, that's very true. Anything else you want to see on the ship in this view? Any special angles, any special detail? Because at this point I'm just aimlessly walking around. It has been in events since 2022, really? That early, with interior. I didn't know that. In the concept images, the aftermost room on the the aftmost room on both floors look like they have a door in the back, but the backside is just, yeah, let me open that image. I thought too that looks like a door in the back there. I know I don't have a mouse right now, but I think what he's referring to is at the 8. It looks like there's a door in the... No, it doesn't really look like a door at all. It looks like some lockers or component access or something like that. But when I first looked at it, I thought there was another door there, just because the Valkyrie has one there. How the upper and lower are separated. There's a stairway in the middle. And a ceiling. Just the cockpit is not separated. Just the cockpit is one big room. Upper floor, let me open the upper for you. Yeah, that really looks like a door. Agree. That really looks like a door. Yeah, that's the one I looked at earlier and thought it would be a door, but let's have a look back at the model. I don't see a door being here. That would be a engineering nightmare to have like these rails like slide apart to make space for a door. I don't think there's going to be any door in the back here. It would be interesting, and again, I'm always there for second entrances, but I don't think there's one here. The entire turret rail springs up like a scorpion tail to reveal the door. Well, that certainly is possible, but I say it's less likely than a Squadron 42 release next year. Oops. Do we think the side turrets rotate like the wing guns on the Valkyrie? I mean, to me it looks like it is rotating on 2 axes. I don't have the Valkyrie in mind right now. I don't know what you're talking about, but I think it rotates on this circular thing, and then here is another axis too, so it can rotate on both axes. I mean, it doesn't have to delay until SitCon 2026. 2026 could also be in January, but I mean, at this point, it's not super likely. I expected size 5 to be bigger, to be honest. These are just... How big are these? 4 meters? It is not flight ready, it is just a concept as far as I know, and I have not looked really at the material. I just started building this. I think there's no information on the release yet. Was there another IAE episode today? I thought there was going to be part 4 today. Or is tomorrow the last IAE show? Oh, looks like it. Shame. That main battery is remote, not manned. I can't open the files for you right now because I'm stuck in this viewer, but I'm 99% sure that no person can be in here. That does not look like a... That definitely looks like a remote turret, yeah. I expect an ISC with information on this tomorrow. I expected it today, actually. I thought there was going to be the 4th episode of the IAE show today with information on this. I expect it now for tomorrow, right? I don't think they will wait until December to talk about this. They want to sell it now. Otherwise there's no point in putting out the concept. All 3 turrets are remote, thank you. Yep. I mean, for these it's absolutely sure, but there's 2. If this is just low detail for the HoloViewer, there would be space in here to make it not remote. But yeah, if it's confirmed, we don't have to discuss it anymore, but this could be not remote. What's the opposite of remote? Once again, there is a spec sheet explaining the hard-hitting questions on what everything is. Yeah, I downloaded the spec sheets. I invite everyone to look at it for himself on the website. I downloaded them and then just jumped into the editor here to build that. I have not read anything about this ship. I just wanted to have it textured and walkable as soon as possible. Is there a logic behind what's remote and what's manned? I think there isn't really right now, but I think in the future remote turrets will be quite an advantage when you can actually shoot off the turrets. I think that the exposed manned turrets can be quite dangerous. Basically what we saw in the Squadron 42 demo, where one of his friends or both of his friends were shot out of their turrets. I think that is going to be a thing one day. And with remote turrets you will have, generally speaking, I imagine, worse with the visibility, or maybe they put some kind of filter on the screen to make it a little less easy to spot enemies or whatever than seeing them right through the glass, but you're more secure than in a manned turret. Opposite of remote is manned. That's true. Yeah, thank you. I just lost that word there. Yeah, it's the HoloViewer model only, not anything detailed. Oh, and because I mean, earlier I said it's only the HoloViewer model for now, but since it's still in concept, this is basically all there is. There won't be a better model anytime soon. But what I'm going to do after the stream, I'm going to add some more details in here from the... I'll just take some detail from the Valkyrie and try to get this as pretty as possible. Can you show the rear? Yeah, sure. I hope you're talking about the rear of the ship. So it has a fat rear, but nimble wings, or whatever these are called. It's pretty cool. It really looks very Vanguard-ish. Where do you enter? Let me show you. Invader. Hey, Invader, I know you. You're from the Staff Hub Discord. And yeah, I'm not up to date. I just heard that it's still not working with the new update. Is that still accurate? With the 4.0 branch or something? That was the last update I read. This is the door. This is the door that is shown in the image. Here. And there is no door on the other side shown, or like no walkway to the door shown in this picture, but as I showed earlier, there is one on the other side. Back Invaders, since I have you here, you're the one developing the tool, right? Or am I mixing that up? There's the second entrance. Do you think it will be a two-position track or variable for the top turret? I quite like the angles of these turrets. Do you think it will be a two-position track? I'm not sure what you mean. working through literally the last thing. We have all the transforms and we have all the geometry, but we're trying to figure out how those transform connect to the geometry. Cool, interesting. Do you, I mean, this is probably one of those things where I can't ask for dates, right? What's your gut feel? How long until it's working? And sorry, what does that mean right now? Does it mean nothing is working, including the like the old models? I haven't tried to export anything for no, actually that's not true. I exported something a few days ago, so I assume it's just the new stuff. Because the next thing after this is I wanted to get my hands on the Intrepid, but I figured that wouldn't be working right now because it's brand new. I'm looking at the spec sheet and it looks like 2 stopping points are both end of travel. Can you do the same procedure with the Kraken? Sure, but since the Kraken is so incredibly big, it will look really silly because it lacks any kind of detail at this scale. This week, oh cool. A week, you said. Right. Actually, let me have a look. Maybe I think I have the Kraken here somewhere. If you have a really old version, the Kraken model they used for CitizenCon that year was in the game for a bit. Yeah, no, unfortunately I don't keep any old. I have one old version, but not that old. Oh yeah, right, there was, I wasn't even thinking about the in-game. I was, when I answered the question, I was just talking about the HoloView model. I forgot that the Kraken was in-game at some point. Yeah, but I don't have that at all. Sorry about that, but I might have the HoloView model here. No, I don't. I don't have it, and I tried to download one model earlier in the stream, and it takes me too long because I'm terrible at multitasking. I'll get the Kraken sometime later, and maybe I can put it in here in a future stream if I do that again. But right now it would take a bit too long for me to set it up. And I'm not even, to be honest, I'm not sure if the Kraken would fit in here. I built this whole thing just with the galaxy in mind. So this whole room is galaxy sized pretty much. the nose looks a lot more like the F7 nose compared to the Valkyrie. Like the I'm sorry, I don't have a mouse pointer right now, but like the outline shape of this front nose looks a bit like the, not a bit, it's pretty much the shape of the Hornet, just widened. Maybe that's obvious, but I didn't notice earlier. I'm sorry, I can't read that. Fat pig nose. That's what I said earlier. It has a fat nose. Looks like the X-Series katana. Oh, thank you for translating that for me. Oh, that last comment. Way more ships need a roof access elevator or even just a ladder for repairs and modification while landed. I agree so much. Even if it's not necessary, I think it would just be awesome to just... If you fly to a new planet and then... I would always prefer to like stand on top of my ship first to have a safe look around. Just because the view is so much better from up top. That's why in all of my videos I'm walking on top of the ships, because I just feel like it gives you such a nice vantage and such a nice feel of the ship, instead of just using it looking at it from the bottom all the time. And windows, oh yeah, I have so many comments about adding more windows to the Galaxy and to all the other ships, but I think it has always been a performance thing that they added so few windows, because whenever you have a window, you have to load the interior into your memory too, and I think that will be a problem at some point, because they have so many ships with interiors that they have to load in. I think right now I don't know if it's true, but I heard that right now every single interior is always loaded into memory, like in Arena Commander, in every mode basically all the time, and that's obviously pretty terrible for performance. So I think they added few windows to maybe improve that in the future and get some performance out of hiding and culling the interior, but yeah, there are some ships that already show quite a lot, quite far inside, so maybe it's too late at this point, I don't know. But I also feel that they should add more windows, just like from a gameplay perspective and from a fields perspective. I like the feel if you're like if you're in the mess hall of, I don't know. I remember the first thing that amazed me was one of the things that got me back into Star Citizen after a while was a video of the Redeemer, I think, and the kitchen interior. It has a pretty smallish window, but you can see outside, and the sun was shining inside, and I just think we need more views outside from at least the communal spaces. Every ship has a cockpit, so they need to load interiors. Yeah, but they only have to load the interior of the cockpit. That is a big difference, especially for like, think about a let's not think about the big ship. Let's just think about the Star Runner. How much interior geometry there is. If that's all loaded in all the time, that's a lot of stuff. The Corsair has one, yeah, and the Corsair has a top elevator, and that's one of the coolest features, I think. Loading the stuff in actually isn't the issue so much as the scene graph navigation becomes significantly more expensive when a window is... Yeah, but I mean, loading in is not the problem, but I mean, you probably know better than me. But if we get more ships on this rate, what if we have 100 different ships on the screen at the same time? Isn't that memory-wise more than your average PC will ever be able to hold? I'm not saying that the streaming part is the issue, but the sheer amount of interiors they have with all their variants and yeah, just different ships in general. Not as bad as I would expect. No? Really? I mean, I know that they are pretty... I'm pretty amazed how efficient they do their texture work, like with all these POM detail maps that are reused on every ship of one manufacturer, for example. But still, I think it's so much stuff. So many texture files. Maybe you're right, maybe it's a bigger issue than I think, but will you ever do a Perseus interior like you did with the Galaxy? Honestly, there's so many interiors that I want to build next, and so many I was asked to do. But I mean, you see how long it took me to do the Galaxy. The Perseus, the Perseus is on my list, but I think right now it's second on my list. I think I want to do the Ironclad first. I think the Ironclad interior is super interesting for so many reasons. Like gameplay wise, because you can put so much different stuff in there, it would be interesting. I think it's super interesting because it's a Dirty Drake interior, and after the Galaxy I want to do something different. But then again, the Perseus, I could probably do that faster because I could reuse some of the stuff I did. And who did the Perseus interior? No, that's interesting. Okay, Invader knows more stuff than I do. Where it does become an issue is if you're inside a ship and looking out at a complex scene, because the math becomes a bit obscene to resolve across multiple world and geometry spaces. Looking out a complex scene. Yeah, I understand that. But, I mean, that problem... Shouldn't that then... I mean, that shouldn't be a bigger issue if you're standing in the mess hall with a window compared to standing in the cockpit with a window, right? So I see that it can become an issue, but I mean, it's an issue they have to tackle anyways, right? Or are you saying that in cockpit view, it already like internally doesn't have to care about the inside of the ship that much? Can't wait to see the ironclad render. Yeah, me too. Anything in the cockpit? No, there's nothing in... You're talking about the model, right? There's nothing in this model that you can really make out, unfortunately. But we know that there's nothing in between. Like, this is one big space where you can look down at the other two people. Oh yeah, if you can find the Perseus fan model, that would be super interesting for me. There was a question that I forgot, but I wanted to answer. The what I think about the Polaris interior debacle. My thoughts on the Polaris interior debacle. Honestly, I don't hate it as much as other people do. Or maybe I'm not I don't own a Polaris, so I have not thought that much about what I want to do with it and stuff. So I don't have the connection that other Polaris owners have. I just looked at it once and walked around everything, and I was just amazed by how nice it was, like detail-wise. There are those signage issues that I had to, like, finding around was a bit hard in the beginning, but then again, this is a military ship. You don't have to put signage everywhere. You just know where you have to go at some point. But I think it just feels very, very nice. And then, well, whatever issues there is with there are obviously some spaces that are not used very efficiently. But I think for the first ship of that size that we have in our hands, it is not as bad as people say it is, if that makes sense. I mean, honestly, what I paid most attention for on the Polaris is the animations and stuff. So the animation of the ramps opening, that was just amazing. That I back when the Polaris was first in the game, was that at no, that was at Was that this year at Invictus? Or was it last year? I can't remember. It was at Invictus this year, right? Yeah. I took the model from the game and animated those hangar doors the best I could with the parts that I found in there. And I thought it was going to be a hell of a lot of work to make that work someday, and so I was super impressed how amazing the opening animation of those doors are. That is what I took most of my time looking at. But if what I was wondering is if someone managed to, sorry, we're talking about the Polaris right now. I know that's not on screen, but we talked about the Polaris. I was wondering if no one managed to clip inside the captain's quarters. I know that they are officially not in there, but I imagine there must be some leftover geometry in there that gives us an idea. I know that probably probably no one managed to export it at this point because, as we learned earlier, it's not working for now. But I was expecting someone to glitch in there somehow. It's totally empty apart from a component. Shame. Okay, but cool that you managed to do that. Ah, shame. I thought they not forgot about that, but I was hoping they had to rush it and just left it in its current state. Okay. I managed to clip through that chip too in the engineering bay. I jumped into the reactor to check if the water is killing me, and well, it does kinda, but there's some place in the floor where I just dropped through and then got to the exterior. Okay. If there's anything else you want to see on the Paladin, let me know, because I'm going to leave soonish. Oh, and maybe I take this. Oof. Well, what did we learn this week? We learned that I can't model and look at the chat simultaneously. I was planning to like build this whole thing with all the textures live, but I can't. Yes, I can do an exterior 360. So I'm going to stop soon, and then I'm going to remodel some of the interior, like it's not even close to Carrack size, it's 53 meters. It's pretty much the exact same size as the Valkyrie. So yeah, I'm going to quit soon, and then I'm going to increase the model. I'm going to take some parts of the Valkyrie to get the details in, and then I'm going to do some I'm going to add some textures of my own and make this a bit prettier. And then maybe I put that on a stream tomorrow again. And then when it comes to the interior, I think that will take me quite a while. I was hoping to have a video, like a proper high quality video, middle of the week, but I don't know, with 2 floors that might not be possible. I'll try. It's 53 meters, I checked. I mean, I don't know what's in the brochure, but I measured this in the model and it's 53 meters. Actually, maybe what I'm going to do first before I do any more exterior work, maybe I'll just block some interior and then show that tomorrow on stream, because that's way more interesting than more textures. Yeah, but I'm not promising anything because it always takes time to align those images and cameras to get the interior as accurate as I want it to be. Polaris has multiple lots. Oh, really? That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, there's your exterior 360. It's really nice, but oh, I was really hoping for a big ship, like a big ship. A character-sized one. Cool. Oh, amazing. Since we are here already, before I go, let me just take this opportunity to thank my nice supporters, my Patreon and YouTube join members. It's not all of them. I got a few since the last video that I have to add here, but this is those are the people from a week ago. And yeah, that kind of helps. And they have the interior of the Galaxy. If you have not seen all the shameless plugs about that, I did a Unity scene that you can see in your web browser of the Galaxy interior with all the modules working and switchable. And that is something that I want to do in the future too for members. Maybe this interior too, if I get it working. But yeah, I have to kind of do that on some platform that I can take down if someone wants me to. So I have to keep it in an environment that I can control. So shiny. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Again, I'll probably show it again tomorrow, maybe even later tonight if I get some more detail in. But yeah, first look at the Paladin. All right, thank you. See you around.